they had like the kiss cam kind of thing that goes around that zeroed in on this one couple.
They don't even get caught if they're just both at the concert together. They only get caught because they're openly canoodling at the concert. It betrays a lack of respect for any sort of judgment, but also for a basic value system.
The CEO of a billion-dollar business is in damage control after his affair with a colleague was exposed, of all places, on Kiss Cam.
Now, a US tech company boss has been suspended. That's after a viral video appeared to show him hugging a woman at a Coldplay concert. Astronomer says that its chief executive, Andy Byron, has been put on leave, although the company stopped short of confirming if he is the one captured in the footage. The video, which appears to show Byron embracing the company's HR director, was shown on a giant screen at the concert in Boston.
You know when someone crashes their own car, then yells at the traffic light for turning green? That's Andy Byron right now. Because after the world watched his affair with Kirsten explode on the Coldplay Kiss Cam, ruining his marriage and blindsiding his kids, Andy's not blaming himself. Reports say he's blaming Chris Martin. Yep. The man who kissed his mistress in front of a stadium crowd is now pointing fingers at Coldplay's lead singer, claiming he was set up, targeted, and exploited.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay.
Coldplay threw a couple on the Kiss Cam. Turns out they were having an affair? I don't think even Coldplay can fix this.
Kiss Cam is known for its heartwarming moments, but it caught an awkward one at a Coldplay concert. It zoomed in on a couple cuddling, but internet sleuths were quick to work out why they didn't want to be seen.
So now we've got a public meltdown, a broken family, and a bizarre confrontation with a rock star who just wanted to play a concert. Let's get into the mess Andy made and the Chris Martin drama he's now trying to hide behind. It should have been just another concert moment, Coldplay playing to a packed stadium, fans singing along, cameras panning the crowd. But then the Kiss Cam landed and everything imploded. Right there, under the stadium lights at SoFi, was Andy Byron.
He actually bends down to get out of like squatting to get out of the sight. Honestly, they should have listened to me. Look, well, he's really hugging her. It's tight.
Yeah, you just lean in. You have to lean in at that point.
Right?
They're both married, not for long.
Sitting front row, relaxed, all smiles, leaning in to kiss Kirsten. Not a polite peck. Not an awkward mistake. This was intentional, intimate, and unmistakably romantic. His hand cradling her face, her fingers on his chest, eyes closed like they were in their own world. Except they weren't. Behind them were 70,000 fans. Above them, a jumbotron. In another section, his wife, Megan, and their teenage daughter.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oh, she's talking to her friend. That's her friend.
I'm not quite sure.
Let that visual sink in. A father kissing his mistress while his own child could have been watching it live on a 50-foot screen. And when the footage hit social media, the internet exploded. TikTok edits, Twitter threads, Reddit sleuths identifying Kirsten within hours. And Megan? Reports say she found out through a group text, a friend asking, "Is this real?" But here's where it twists. Andy didn't go quiet.
Don't cheat on your wife. That makes you a scumbag. Let's just start there, full stop. But if you want to be a retarded scumbag, then you can go cheat on your wife at a concert where you're liable to be put on a massive camera in front of everyone, tens of thousands of people here in Boston, watching this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
That's a Coldplay concert, and it is the most viral clip on the internet.
He didn't apologize. He started pointing fingers. Sources close to Andy say he immediately began ranting behind the scenes, telling friends the Kiss Cam wasn't random. That Coldplay knew exactly what they were doing, that he was set up. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't regret. It was ego, denial, and full-on deflection. He destroyed his own family, and then blamed the stage lights. So, what does a man do when he's exposed on a global stage and the sympathy runs dry?
And from there, the internet didn't stop.
If you're gonna have an affair, why would you bring her to a concert in public where everybody can see you? What if you even ran into someone you knew? Who cares about the Jumbotron? What if you ran into someone you knew? Huh?
Forget the Epstein files. I want to see the text messages of that astronomer CEO that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the office.
He goes after a rock star. According to multiple reports, Andy Byron began telling people, from PR reps to close friends, that Chris Martin should have intervened. That is Coldplay's frontman, Chris, has final say over what makes it into the official show content and post-event media. One insider spilled that Andy demanded Coldplay remove the Kiss Cam segment from their highlight reel posted to social media. He called it personal sabotage.
And this is pretty viral stuff. Or do we have to get HR involved? I mean, I know that HR was involved.
The moral of the story here is don't get caught on Kiss Cam. And the tidbit is that's not his wife.
And can we talk about the employee that was with them? She obviously knows what's going on because she's there.
But apparently, this couple will not be fans of Coldplay for long.
Another report says he even claimed the clip was edited to linger too long on him and Kirsten, as if someone wanted to make it extra damning. Here's what one person who saw Andy's message to Coldplay's team said. His tone was aggressive. He said the band had no business broadcasting a moment that was private and damaging to his family. But here's the catch. He made it public. He chose to kiss Kirsten at a concert with his wife and child nearby. Chris Martin didn't tell him to cheat. Chris Martin didn't script the moment. Chris Martin didn't ruin his life. He just provided the soundtrack.
Oh, look at these two.
In a moment, these lovers won't ever forget.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
And one the world can't stop talking about.
I'm not quite sure what to do. Did we rumble in?
Kiss Cam at a Coldplay gig in Boston, and their reactions said it all. They had something to hide.
Oh, I hope we didn't do something bad.
Chris Martin knew it. The internet did too.
I think that the actual star of this story, though, is Chris Martin, who decides, given an opportunity here, to let these people off the hook and just let the camera move along, to suggest explicitly that these people are either having an affair. I mean, seriously? You just throw the fans under the bus who paid their hard-earned money for these tickets?
Now fans are dragging Andy for what they're calling the most unhinged blame shift of the year. One tweet summed it up perfectly. Imagine cheating on your wife in front of 70,000 people and then sending Chris Martin an angry email. This isn't damage control. This is reputation suicide. So what did Chris Martin say in response to being dragged into Andy's mess? Absolutely nothing. And that silence? Louder than any denial. Coldplay released their concert recap video just days later, and guess what? The Kiss Cam footage was still in it. No edits. No blur. No fade to black. The entire moment, Andy and Kirsten included, stayed right there for the world to see. Sources close to the band say Chris saw Andy's complaints as embarrassing and irrelevant. One person reportedly said, "The Kiss Cam isn't scripted. It's random. We don't direct people to destroy their families." And let's be clear, Chris Martin is notorious for staying out of drama. If he's not even acknowledging the scandal, it's because he knows it's not his responsibility. But Andy? Still spinning. Still liking posts that blame Coldplay for broadcasting a private moment. Still floating the idea that Chris could have stopped it. Still trying to make people believe he was targeted. But the public isn't buying it. In fact, they're done. Because the longer Andy leans into this victim's story, the more obvious it becomes. He's not confronting Chris Martin. He's running from himself. Once reports surfaced that Andy Byron had actually confronted Chris Martin's team, social media didn't just react, it detonated. Within hours, Andy Byron was trending, but not the way he wanted. The internet dragged him harder than ever before. One viral tweet read, "You cheat on your wife at a concert and blame Coldplay? This man needs help, not a publicist." And that tone echoed everywhere. TikTokers made side-by-side reaction duets with Andy's Coldplay moment. One creator stitched his old Family Man interview with the Kiss footage, then ended it with, "You fumbled your marriage and blame the band?" Not even Netflix could script this level of delusion. Meme accounts on Instagram had a field day. One showed Andy's face photoshopped into Coldplay's album cover with the caption, "A rush of blood to the head," and the PR disaster that followed. Another showed Chris Martin holding a mic on stage with the bubble. "Don't look at me, bro, you did that." Even former supporters, people who had reshared Andy's motivational content, podcast clips, and fatherhood quotes, began deleting posts. One fan account posted, "We were rooting for a man who clearly never lived the values he preached. Consider this account archived." And this is key. Andy thought he could steer the narrative by shifting blame. But instead, he confirmed everything people suspected about his ego. Because now, the conversation isn't even about the affair anymore. It's about how far a man will go to avoid accountability. He didn't just blow up his own family. He's trying to sue the smoke for choking on it. Andy Byron's life used to be content gold. He had the clean-cut branding. CEO, girl dad, mindful husband, morning routine guy. He sold balance, integrity, intentional leadership. But since the Coldplay debacle, that whole facade is collapsing fast. And now, his attempts at damage control are making things so much worse. Reports say Andy has fired 2 PR teams in the last 14 days. One insider claimed he kept demanding a public reset campaign, but refused to take any real accountability. He wanted to clean up the fallout, they said, without touching the fire that caused it. In just the last week, he locked comments across all platforms, scrubbed posts featuring Meghan and the kids, canceled a scheduled business keynote, and reportedly called up multiple news outlets trying to clarify the Coldplay situation in off-record conversations that somehow still leaked. It's a cycle now. He deletes, he posts. He denies, he blames. He spirals, he spins. And every time he blames Chris Martin, the internet hits him with the same truth. Chris didn't kiss Kirsten, Andy. You did. People aren't just tired, they're done. Because Andy's not managing an image anymore. He's running from a reputation he built on lies. While Andy is busy spiraling, scrambling, and sending long-winded emails to concert promoters, Andy Byron has said almost nothing. And somehow, that silence is destroying him more than any interview ever could. Her only public response came days after the Coldplay footage went viral. A single Instagram story. When your children are watching, you stop pretending. You start protecting. No hashtags. No drama. No messy press tour. Just a clear, cutting message from a woman who's done keeping up appearances. Reports say Meghan has pulled out of all joint business ventures with Andy. She's removed his last name from certain documents. And most importantly, she's focused on the kids. Insiders say she's refused all interview requests, not because she's scared, but because she refuses to turn the pain into a performance. One close source said, her priority is healing, not headlines. She's not trying to win, she's trying to protect her family. And the public? Fully behind her. You can feel it in the comments. She's the only one acting with dignity. He's doing press. She's doing parenting. Meghan's silence is worth 1,000 of Andy's excuses. Because when your husband kisses his mistress in front of your daughter, then blames a band for the consequences, you don't go live on Instagram. You go quiet. You rebuild. You rise. And that's exactly what Meghan is doing. Let's talk about Chris. Fans have rallied behind him, calling the whole thing embarrassing and desperate on Andy's part. Even Coldplay's own fans, some of the kindest corners of the internet, are calling Andy out. One popular post said, Chris Martin's job is to sing, fix you, not fix your marriage. And that's the takeaway. Chris didn't invite Andy. Chris didn't kiss Kirsten. Chris didn't destroy Andy's family. Andy did. This wasn't a random slip-up. This was the moment the mask came off. Everything Andy worked so hard to craft, the family man image, the leadership guru brand, the clean reputation, all shattered in one clip because he couldn't keep his hands off the affair partner. And instead of owning it, he blamed the band. But here's the truth. Chris Martin didn't expose Andy. Andy exposed himself. Chris just had the spotlight. So what's next for Andy Byron? He could vanish. He could apologize. But based on reports, he's doubling down. Expect a podcast interview. A healing through chaos vlog. Maybe even a docuseries. Anything to shift focus and keep pretending he's the victim. But here's the problem. No one's buying it. As for Chris Martin, he's back on tour. He's moved on. Because when someone tries to drag your name into their own mess, silence is the loudest statement. And Andy? He can confront all he wants. But the only person he's really fighting is the truth.